The start of a new decade, girls can be heirs. But with Sigrid gone, it felt bittersweet for Evelyn. James was dedicated to finding her but wasn't sure what to do. He tried contacting them but couldn't. Cell phones weren't actually around. He decided to make the girls a cake for their birthday. A lactose-intolerant foodie. The intolerance is genetic apparently. All hail the first woman heir. For twins, they look nothing alike. Finally, one night James received a call from the sim takers. They wanted 5,000 simoleons. James didn't hesitate and got her location. But then they said bring more money. James was shocked at Sigrid's state, but paid the sim takers. Sigrid woke up and was finally free. Sigrid is home. Even Edwin was waiting to greet her. The whole family was ready to celebrate. Other than healing from wounds, Sigrid was feeling great. She threw out her widow clothing and embraced the new era. She made it home in time for Winterfest. James went all out for the holiday. Evelyn cooked a grand meal, while Sigrid got some rest. They invited everyone over for dinner. Elizabeth made it this time. She's doing great. She's an elder now. I think her and Edith look so much alike. Evelyn, please stop eating dairy. You never make it to the bathroom. Alexandria updates she's a teen as well. Sigrid missed Georgiana very much, so she made sure to give her extra pets. Everyone gathered around for lighting the Winterfest tree. They sang and opened gifts. Someone gave Teddy pet poop. Why? Father Christmas came out of the fireplace. Teddy lucked out better with him. It was the perfect way to celebrate Sigrid's return. Sigrid and James were finally getting married. The wedding was held at a former bar turned museum. Alcohol was now illegal. Although for the wealthy it wasn't hard to find. The twins' friend baby who worked there told them he had a secret to share. Hidden in a corner was a ladder. You needed a password to enter. This is how the girls discovered their first speakeasy. I will not be taking criticism on this room and the overlapping or floating items. I fixed it. Even Auntie Elizabeth was down. When the wedding ended, James set himself on fire. I cannot. Sigrid saved the day though. Oh my god, it's Rose. Everybody act natural. You look good in green, Boo. She and Sigrid promptly had a hectic chase for some reason. Sigrid was ecstatic but worried about Edwin's boss. She wasn't going to live in fear, so after the kids went to school, she invited him over and the head police officer. She made them both an offer to put an end to all this. She also suggested they pin Edwin's death on Miss Flirty Birdie. She would give Edwin's boss a large sum of cash, as well as to the police. Money can't buy happiness, but it can keep you out of prison. Teddy was working on his fitness. Evelyn was honing her craft. And Ruth? Well, Ruth was hiding a big secret. She was pregnant, out of wedlock, as a teenager. She didn't want anyone to know. She was so ashamed. Oh man, the farm animals are passing left and right. Okay, but that was so sweet how Grim took Cluck. Ruth decided to open up to James about her predicament. He was very understanding and told her they needed to tell Sigrid and figure out what to do. He apparently didn't even think she likes boys. Ruth told her mom, and her mom figured there was two options. Have her and James raise the baby as theirs, or do a potentially dangerous and illegal procedure. After thinking it over, Sigrid told Ruth they would pass the baby off as hers. But there was a lot Ruth will have to do to pull this off. For now, she just needed to act normal and tell no one. Sigrid told Ruth she needed to tell her boyfriend, whose name is Laurent. She was going to study abroad and would be back soon. She told him to tell their friends as well. They sat the entire household down and revealed the situation. The rules to make sure this plan worked were simple. Ruth was not to leave the house, and no club meetings were to be held there. If family or visitors did come, Ruth was to stay in her room. Everyone agreed and swore to secrecy. Sigrid would make herself appear pregnant. Rose break. They had a big family dinner to announce Sigrid's pregnancy and celebrate James' birthday. They also told everyone how Ruth would be away for study. Ruth was feeling so much better. She didn't mind having to hide whenever people were over. Sigrid stayed home more as well to hide any suspicions of her pregnancy. Ruth even took up writing. When she was feeling down, Sigrid was there to make her whatever food she was craving. Everything was working according to plan. She went into labor one night and gave birth to a baby girl. Her name is Roselle. James was over the moon. Ruth was still laying low until she recovered. And Sigrid couldn't be happier. Edwin's boss was even being positive these days. Evelyn saw Ruth's boyfriend flirting with Alexandria at a club meetup. She put him in his place, but he didn't understand why she would care so much. Ruth has been gone for months. Baby, why do you always wear the mask? Do people think you're doing blackface, please? Never mind, I figured it out. It was a trait. That's better. Evelyn decided to tell Ruth about Laurent being sketchy. But Ruth assured her she wasn't worried, everything would be okay once she was back. Unfortunately, Sigrid caught a very bad case of stumpy flu. She was very contagious and didn't want to give it to anyone, especially Roselle. Ruth refused to help with the baby. She was trying her best to be a normal teen. They hired a nanny but needed someone to help in between shifts. Evelyn agreed to let the baby stay in her room while Sigrid recovered in her own. Annie stopped by to help. Ruth finally recovered and was ready to get back to normal. And back to school. Sigrid was feeling better but still contagious. So a childminder was hired while everyone else was gone. Pluck got a memorial bush. Evelyn wanted to throw a dinner party to celebrate Ruth's return. All their friends and family came to hear of Ruth's adventures overseas. But Ruth was more excited to reconnect with Laurent. But she did love the attention and captivating everyone with her tall tales. Everyone had a great time and was none the wiser. Teddy realized he was crushing on his friend Pearl. The next day was Roselle's birthday, and Sigrid was fully recovered. Happy birthday, we won! She's so adorable. Ruth and Evelyn had to go back to sharing a room so Roselle could have won. Ruth was so excited to go on a date with Laurent again. Even if she did need a chaperone to do so. The old pub in town was converted to a cafe and theater. Teddy loved that he could meet up with Pearl. But Laurent didn't seem to mind if everyone was there. It didn't stop him from flirting with other girls. Ruth was heartbroken, but he swore he was only hers. Teddy told Ruth when they got home that he thought she should consider dating other people. She finally agreed, and he set her up with a friend from school. They went out for their double date with a boy named Rodrigo Munch. He was a religious fundamentalist and told them all about how he lived a more Victorian way of life. He told Ruth Laurent was a sinner, and if he followed his religion he wouldn't be looking at anyone else. Ruth was smitten. She loved the idea of going back to the old ways. Sigrid aged up into an elder. She's still gorgeous. Ruth came home and told Evelyn all about her new beau. Evelyn was happy for her but a bit concerned about his way of life. James just minded his business and hung out with Roselle. R.I.P. Henrietta. Rodrigo came over to introduce himself to her family. He was very serious about Ruth. It's the twins' birthday. They had a big party to celebrate young adulthood. Ruth was excited to introduce Rodrigo to everyone. But no one was expecting him to propose. Ruth said, "Yes, Abby." Evelyn pulled Rodrigo aside, and he assured her he was in love, and if this was back in the day, they'd already be married, with kids. Sigrid waited until he left to ask what her intentions with Roselle were, and Ruth coldly said that she'd always love her little sister. Ruth quickly began changing before the wedding. Sigrid was concerned, but Ruth was an adult, and she wanted her to be happy. They got married in the backyard, much like the generations before them. Ruth seemed a bit sad during the ceremony, though. They moved into a cute home on the other side of town. It was exactly what they wanted to live, a more pure and fundamentalist way of life. Sigrid and Evelyn thought it all happened way too fast. Evelyn was frustrated. She worked so hard with dreams of being a chef, but in 1920 no one wanted to hire women. Sigrid asked if she could set her up on a date. She thought it may be good for her. Evelyn reluctantly agreed. Sigrid set her up with a man named Reese who worked with James. Evelyn was very relieved. They were on the same page about everything, even with taking dating slow and not jumping into marriage like Ruth. They had a great time. Unfortunately, the evening took a turn for the worse. James was in a car accident, and it didn't look good. Definitely not good. Sigrid was beside herself with grief. They had the family over, and everyone was heartbroken. Sigrid was scared about what would happen to Roselle if she died. Ruth has made it clear she would be no help. But Evelyn assured her Roselle would always have her. James was buried with love notes and a space for Sigrid when her time comes. R.I.P. King. Evelyn decided she should check in with Ruth about Roselle and asked if she would ever tell Rodrigo the truth. Ruth told Evelyn to never ask her about it again. Evelyn agreed to secrecy when it occurred and to leave it at that. Sigrid was still heartbroken over James, but knew she needed to be strong for Roselle and Teddy. James was the only real father either had. Poor Teddy. Grim, please leave, you've done enough. Reese came over as soon as he heard the news about James. Pearl was there to comfort Teddy. Reese got right to work with helping out around the house. And he told Sigrid if she needed anything, he'd help. He really looked up to James at work, who mentored him. He even got to meet Roselle. Grim, it's been 24 hours, there's the door B. Roselle is a gem. Evelyn told Reese to stay for lunch. She told him all about her issue with being unable to pursue her passion and how much she loved to cook. He had an amazing idea. She could set up a small stall on the property and sell her food. He said to put in her brother's name to avoid any issues. They were able to get everything set up for it quickly. It wasn't a fancy restaurant, but it was hers. Evelyn was excited for the future. She even got a more grown-up hairstyle. They opened the stall for the first time, and it was a hit. She was so excited to be able to earn money. Reese came by after work to congratulate her. He had bought the family a German Shepherd puppy to lift their spirits and celebrate her accomplishment. Leave puppy names in the comments, and we will spin the wheel. Evelyn was grateful for the puppy but joked that he shouldn't be gifting live animals she had to care for. He assured her as long as he's welcome he will help with anything. Poor Sigrid was still sad, but she loved the new puppy. The stall continued doing good, and her family even came by to support her. Ruth was really acting different since they last spoke, but assured everyone she was fine. Reese stopped by and got to meet everyone. He met Rodrigo, but felt like something was really off about him. Rodrigo used every opportunity to preach his fundamentalist views. Reese noticed Ruth always seemed very uncomfortable when Rodrigo would ramble on. He talked to Evelyn about it, and she agreed it wasn't good. Let's name that puppy. Leo 1. Small boy. Teddy is a young adult now. Evelyn hadn't heard from Ruth and decided to go by her house and check on her. She found her in bed sobbing and pregnant. Ruth told her she wasn't happy about the pregnancy. She said Rodrigo called her a broken woman for having these feelings. He noticed Ruth was talking to someone and interjected himself. Evelyn did not appreciate how he was treating her sister. He explained that hysterical women shouldn't be meeting up without a man to chaperone as they'll just spread hysteria. Ruth asked Evelyn to leave to avoid escalation. Evelyn told Sigrid everything and told her how worried she was. Sigrid decided to call an old friend and find out what she could about Rodrigo. The police officer she knew came and explained that Rodrigo wasn't just a religious fundamentalist, but a member of a group with multiple Ks. That group had recently held a big demonstration at the Capitol. The ladies invited Ruth over to talk. For some reason, Rodrigo came and stayed outside. Sigrid told Ruth what she found out about Rodrigo. Ruth explained that while he could be mean at times, he was still her husband and the father of her baby. Plus, a lot of people from almost every state were a member of the group with Ks. On a lighter note, Teddy finally got to propose to Pearl. And it was Roselle's birthday. They planned a big party. Someone even sent Laurent an invite. Evelyn made the cake and caught Reese up. Laurent pulled Ruth aside and apologized for his behavior as a teen. Sigrid made sure Rodrigo was caught up with the party. Laurent told Ruth everyone was worried about her, but she got defensive. Don't be this guy for clear skin. It was time to blow out the candles. Roselle is the cutest, I swear. After the party, Ruth and Rodrigo stayed to talk to the family. Ruth told them she no longer wanted them in her or her new family's life. Sigrid knew Rodrigo was behind this and confronted him. He told her Ruth was now a pure and godly woman unlike them. Evelyn leaned on Reese to help her keep calm. Sigrid was wound up. She didn't know what she was going to do but liked to practice in the mirror. Oh, Leo is not a puppy anymore. No more small boy. Teddy decided to work in politics. Wholesome. Ruth came by unexpectedly. She told Sigrid she was sorry for what she said. She was very upset. Sigrid convinced her it was time to leave Rodrigo and she could come back home. Teddy offered to go with her and keep her safe, but she insisted it'd be okay. Evelyn just focused on Roselle. Later that evening, Teddy decided to go check on Ruth. The house was very quiet, and no one let him in. He was worried, so he ran upstairs to look for Ruth. He was not prepared for what he found. Teddy was not made for this. Ruth was still shocked but told him she tried to leave and he got physical, so she got physical and won. And he said he would have her arrested, and she just snapped. They called Sigrid. The cops showed up before she did. She explained to the chief what Rodrigo did, and he believed her. While he said it was unnecessary, she still made a large donation. Then she went inside to tell Ruth what she needed to do now. Ruth moved into the main house and had her baby girl Ellie. Evelyn called Reese to rant and explain why everything is so crazy. Sigrid was so happy Ruth was free from Rodrigo. Roselle told Evelyn she was excited to have a baby in the house. Teddy was a bit stressed about it all but was literally getting married and had to focus. The wedding went off without a hitch. Everyone was so happy for Pearl and Teddy. They were married in the same place Sigrid and James were. Congrats, Teddy! Evelyn was excited to slow dance with Reese in her old favorite spot, and even had her first kiss. They decided to officially begin dating. Teddy and Pearl moved into a lovely home in Brindleton Bay. After the wedding, Evelyn and Ruth finally talked. Evelyn told her she was happy she was out of that relationship, but disappointed in her for being with him, but that she loved her and missed her. Ruth was struggling with all her emotions and still hadn't bonded with Ellie. Evelyn continued looking forward and even added a play area for her customers' children. It's date night for Evelyn and Reese. He took her to a very nice museum. When he took her home, he told her he was in love with her. She said the feeling was mutual. It was late, so she popped into everyone's room to check on them. She went to her old room where Ruth and Ellie were staying, but Ruth wasn't there. She couldn't find her anywhere in the house. She went to feed Leo and then frantically searched outside. When she came back and she noticed a letter on the table. It was from Ruth. She told them she was fine and not to look for her. Just please take care of Ellie. She woke up Sigrid and told her about the letter. She was very mad at Ruth for abandoning another child she will have to care for. The next morning she called Reese and told him the news. She also decided it was time to tell him the truth about Roselle. She was really in love with him but needed him to understand how much responsibility would come with her if they kept dating or marry. Sigrid was thankful Ruth hadn't taken Ellie. They called everyone they could think of over who Ruth may have reached out to, even Lawrence, but no one had heard from her. She held Ellie and promised to love her. Sigrid and Evelyn decided it was time to tell Roselle the truth. She handled it surprisingly well, but was upset at the idea of Ruth being her mom and abandoning her and her new sister. She said she suspected she was adopted, but she was happy to know she was actually related to her family. Sigrid also decided to tell Laurent. He didn't handle it as well and questioned if he was really even the father. But if he was, Sigrid had no right to hide it from him. He said he needed some time and stormed off. Reese stopped by for his daily fix. He told the ladies he wanted to take them on a vacation to the big city. But first, toddler time. Ruth 2.0. They all packed up and headed off with Reese. He rented a beautiful house in the heart of the city. Evelyn joked about having to sleep with her mom because there was only 2 adult beds. Reese explained he was going to be sleeping on the couch and not to worry. Y'all be careful in that pool, I can't have more soggy ghosts. I'm going to pretend I didn't see that. Evelyn, Reese, and Roselle decided to go to the spice festival that was happening near their vacation rental. Evelyn was in heaven. Reese tried the spicy food challenge to impress Roselle. And he actually did it. Evelyn was so happy to be able to try new food to add to her menu. Roselle really enjoyed the musicians. When they got back, Reese did actually sleep on the couch. The next morning he told them he wanted to take them all to the big city park. Once there he promptly professed his love for Evelyn. And on one knee he told her he could wait longer if she needed, but he wanted nothing more than to marry her. She said yes. But he also asked Roselle, Ellie, and Sigrid if they would accept him as their newest family member. The kids also said yes. Sigrid said yes under the condition that they marry ASAP before the Reaper comes for her. They decided to just elope right there and ran back to the rental to change. Are you forking serious? No, no, no. Evelyn, I literally can't do this. What do I do? I'm not okay with this. Sigrid, plead go. OMG, it actually worked. Rise, you happy bee. Woo, okay, everything's okay. After that little hiccup, Evelyn and Reese finally got to the altar. The whole thing was lovely and emotional. I think Sigrid was patrolling the area for danger or something. Evelyn looks really good for a dead bee. After a little honeymoon woohoo, they all headed home. Sigrid gave Evelyn the master bedroom and Evelyn did some redecorating inspired by their city rental. Reese was moved in and happy he didn't have to stop by constantly to see Evelyn. Sigrid went right to Rose's grave and mourned her. We miss her to girl. Lauren came by and said he was ready to talk to Roselle. Pearl and Teddy came too, and look who's expecting. Laurent and Sigrid talked again. He told her it wasn't right, but he understands why they did what they did. He was happy Roselle was taken care of and happy. He just wanted to be able to see her anytime. Everyone agreed. Evelyn was excited for Teddy and got to tell everyone about her near-death experience. She and Teddy became best friends. It was all very sweet. Sigrid and Evelyn started teaching Roselle to cook. Evelyn's stall was getting sold out every day. Roselle was loving having a little sister. Kay popped in to wet the floor and chat with Sigrid. Evelyn discovered she was pregnant. She was reasonably happy and well-rounded about it all. She told Reese the news that morning before he left for work. He was happy about it and very optimistic. She told Sigrid later, and she was so excited. Lauren came by every day to be there when Roselle got out of school. They really started bonding. She also decided it was her job to train Leo and took up knitting. She wanted to make things for the new baby and Ellie. Unfortunately, the Reaper came for Sigrid at dinner. Rest now, Queen, you did amazing, sweetie. The kids wouldn't leave the room though, I'm sorry. Rose and Kay were there to take her to the afterlife at least. She left specific instructions on what she wanted on her grave. A lotus candle, mini pumpkins because she loved to grow pumpkins, a bowl of fruit for some reason, and a Reaper gnome. She said the gnome was because Grimm was a longtime friend. Everyone was sad about Sigrid's passing. Evelyn and Reese were devastated, but knew they needed to be calm for the kids. Reese meet Rose. Roselle was happy she had Evelyn as her parent. Evelyn did her own makeup and decided to show her grief with it. Even Leo was sad about Sigrid. Grimm wouldn't leave again, so I added him to the family to make him. See you later. Roselle got a new room. Things were getting better. Evelyn is having a baby, OMG. You got this, channel your inner Sigrid. It's a girl. Baby Betty. Roselle was so excited. Ellie was okay with it. Roselle began covering everything in her knitting projects. Cute and wholesome Evelyn. The next day was Ellie's birthday. Evil Ellie. Rodrigo's genes came through some. Well. Look who decided to show up. The kids wondered who would be coming over so late. Evelyn did not greet Ruth warmly. But Ellie was so happy to see her mother. Roselle was not. Evelyn sent the girls to their room. Ruth told Reese and Evelyn about how she moved to a new town and was finally doing better. Evelyn explained that Sigrid was dead, and Ruth said she had heard. Evelyn was really angry at her for everything. Ruth apologized for all of it and said she was engaged to a wonderful man and would like her kids now. Evelyn couldn't believe what she was hearing. Oh, Lauren told Ellie happy birthday, that's sweet. Evelyn decided to talk to the kids about Ruth's unexpected arrival. She told them she couldn't trust Ruth anymore. But Ellie got upset and said she loved her mom and Evelyn was just jealous. Evelyn reminded her she didn't know her mother. Roselle agreed and told Ellie she agreed with Evelyn. It was Harvest Fest and Evelyn allowed Ruth, and her soon-to-be spouse to join. He told them he knew everything about Ruth's past and was only looking to the future. His name was John. He was a very wealthy and successful artist. After dinner, Evelyn and Ruth continued to argue. Ruth felt like Evelyn had no right to withhold her kids. Evelyn told her she wouldn't withhold the kids if she had raised them. Ruth reminded her she left the kids with Sigrid, not Evelyn. Roselle made it clear she wouldn't go anywhere with that woman who birthed her. But Ellie said she wanted to be with her mom. Roselle made sure to tell John how she felt. Evelyn was so hurt by Ellie and scared for her. Roselle told Ellie she was making a huge mistake. But Ellie said she wanted to give Ruth a chance. So they agreed out of love for Ellie to go see Ruth's new home. Evelyn said she would let the kids decide what they wanted. Ellie was dead set on going with Ruth. Evelyn was heartbroken but understood, and made sure she knew she could come home to her anytime. Roselle couldn't understand and was hurt but happy she didn't have to go. It was hard, but Evelyn and Reese knew they couldn't deny Ellie's wishes. Reese triple-checked that this was what Ellie wanted, and that she knew she could call them for anything. Roselle told Ruth she wouldn't hate her forever, but Evelyn was her only mother. So as hard as it was, they left Ellie with Ruth. It's toddler time again. She looks like Reese, and it's very adorable. Roselle made that beanie for her when she was a baby. Everyone missed Ellie dearly, though. Roselle and Evelyn frequently stopped by to check in on her. She assured them everything was great. John said he loved having her and Ruth. Roselle was happy, and it was almost her birthday. Lauren came by and she got to tell him about Ellie and Ruth. He said he was proud of her for her choice. That he discovered the graves and ghosts. Things were looking good, and they planned a big party for Roselle's birthday. When party day came, it was very exciting. With Roselle's birthday, a new decade was coming up. A genius bookworm. Lauren is a Renaissance sim, so it makes sense for her to be too. Okay, but she's like really pretty.